Happy Wednesday morning, and there is big breaking news at this hour. Flight chaos across the country after a system-wide outage has now forced the FAA to pause all domestic flights and departures for at least the next hour in our country. This is what we're seeing inside Sea-Tac Airport right now. Passengers just starting to get the news, no doubt. This news broke at about 3 o'clock this morning Pacific Standard Time. We've been talking to customers who weren't even aware of this issue an hour ago, but clearly a rapidly developing situation right now. We have calls out to officials at SeaTac and the local airlines to see how they will be impacted this morning.
This morning, we are tracking the impact at these local airports like SeaTac and Painfield and Everett, and we are taking a look at the impact nationwide. Here's a look at LAX. The FAA says some of its systems are coming back online, but there's no estimated time of restoration, and it's not clear exactly what caused this nationwide outage.
The president has been briefed. The Secretary of Transportation also in touch with the FAA because a system-wide outage at this level with what's called the NOTAM system, the Notice to Air Emission system, clearly has been impacted and is causing a ripple effect nationwide. We're going to get to some team coverage this morning here on King 5 Mornings. Aviation reporter Kristen Goodwillie starting us off live at SeaTac. Kristen, what are we learning there at the airport?
Well, Jake, let's go into what a NOTAM is and why this is causing such a big issue around the nation right now. A NOTAM is essentially a piece of paperwork that tells the pilot what their flight path is going to look like. Essentially, it covers everything. It can be multiple pages long. It has restrictions on there, as well as flight hazards for birds. So as you can imagine, it is extremely important that a pilot has this NOTAM, and if they weren't able to look at it, that is why these delays are happening. Now, we just heard from the FAA, and this is the tweet. I'm just going to read it for you here. The FAA is still working to fully restore the Notice to Air Emission system following an outage. The FAA has ordered airlines to pause all domestic departures until 9 a.m. Eastern time. So that, of course, is 6 a.m. here, to allow the agency to validate the integrity of flight and safety information. Now, it is good as far as the fact that we are on Pacific time. So we're not saying that this is impacting as many people or as many flights, but United Airlines did tweet out that all of their flights domestically are going to be delayed. We are seeing more flights being delayed on FlightAware as well. And at this point, it's just waiting until that 6 a.m. deadline to see what happens. We also got word that from the White House that the president was notified, and they made it clear it does not seem like this was a cyber attack, but they said that the Department of Transportation is going to be launching an investigation to figure out exactly what went wrong. But for now, live here at SeaTac, I'm Kristen Goodwillie, King 5 News.
Kristen, thank you. Let's get to Farah Jadrin, who's also at SeaTac right now. Farah, you've been talking to passengers. Anybody that you've talked with have their flight affected at this point?
You know, Mimi, that's the interesting thing is while all of those notifications have been going out from the FAA, from the White House, passengers that I spoke to, which have been more than a dozen, said they didn't even get notifications to their phones from their airlines saying there were any issues. So I guess that's good news for folks knowing that their flights are on time as of this moment. But at the same time, a lot of them were concerned that they didn't even know there were issues with that particular system that maybe people aren't familiar with. So as of right now, business as usual. You're seeing folks checking in their bags. People are still heading up through security. That wait time is only about 10 minutes on average. So as of right now, just after 5 o'clock here at SeaTac, things look like they are business as usual for anybody who has a flight out. And as everyone knows that comes out of SeaTac or has a family member coming in here, the earliest flights leaving here are just going to be going to the gates as of right now and not even boarding just yet. So right now, still good news, but as Kristen mentioned, we're going to wait until that 6 o'clock deadline to see if that has any trickle effect, to see any more widespread delays or cancellations here. Live at SeaTac, Farah Jadrin, King 5 News.